A manhunt is underway in Southern California, and the Los Angeles Police Department is under siege. 10,000 law enforcement officers are conducting door-to-door searches for one of their own.
Control all units, seat info, reference 1199 for LAPD.
Over the past 24 hours, a deadly manhunt across this whole region.
Suspect vehicle still outstanding. It's a black Nissan Titan.
Police officers hunting one of their own, a rogue former officer now accused of hunting them.
The subject of today's video went from being a hero to a merciless killer. After being fired from the police force, he used his police training to unleash his vengeance against them. His 9-day killing spree had all of Southern California living in terror. The subject of today's video is none other than Christopher Dorner, and today we're going to be telling his story. But before we get into the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Christopher Jordan Dorner was born on June 4th, 1979, and was raised in Southern California. He graduated from Cypress High School in 1997. After high school, he attended Southern Utah University, where he played from 1999 to 2000. He graduated in 2001 with a degree in political science and a major in psychology. When he was a teenager, he decided to become a police officer and joined a youth program offered by the police department in La Palma, where he lived at the time of the shootings. Those that knew him described him as a man that came from a good family and liked to keep to himself. In 2002, Christopher Dorner joined the Navy Reserves. After serving there for a few years, he joined the police academy in 2005, graduating in 2006. Shortly afterwards, his duties as a probationary officer were interrupted when he was deployed by the Navy Reserves to Bahrain. On his return from duty in July of 2007, Dorner was paired with training officer Teresa Evans to complete his probationary training. According to the Los Angeles Times, Evans said that on Dorner's first day working with her, he told her that he planned to sue the LAPD after he completed his probationary period. On July 18, 2007, Dorner and his training officer, Teresa Evans, went to the DoubleTree Hotel in San Pedro when a schizophrenic man named Christopher Gettler was causing a disturbance. 2 weeks after the incident, Evans submitted a performance review to Dorner, which claimed that he needed to improve in 3 specific areas that were never determined to the public. The next day, he filed a report that alleged Evans was using excessive force in her treatment of Christopher Gettler, kicking him in the face twice after attacking him with a taser and then handcuffing him on the ground. This prompted an internal board review that investigated the claims and listened to the testimonies provided by several witnesses, including Dorner, who was represented by Randall Kwan, a former LAPD captain. Gettler maintained that he was kicked in the face by a female police officer who resembled Evans, but his testimony was presumably dismissed, possibly due to the hindrances of Gettler's mental illness. 3 witnesses later testified that they didn't see Evans kick Gettler, and Evans also denied ever kicking him. As a result, the board's 3 members, 2 LAPD captains, and a criminal defense attorney unanimously ruled against Dorner's allegations, citing that they lacked credibility and that they were partially motivated by his fear of having his career ended by a poor evaluation by Evans. In 2008, Dorner was fired by the LAPD for making false statements in his report and in his testimony against Evans. Dorner's attorney, Kwan, stated that Dorner was treated unfairly and was being made a scapegoat. Dorner appealed his termination by filing a writ of mandamus with the Los Angeles County Superior Court. Judge David Yaffel wrote that he was uncertain whether the training officer kicked the suspect or not, but nevertheless upheld the department's decision to fire Dorner. Yaffel ruled that he would presume that the LAPD's accusations that Dorner's report was false would stand, even though he did not know if his report of Evans kicking Gettler was false. This enraged Dorner, who yelled out in disbelief at the end of the hearing, "I told the truth. How can this be?" On February 1st, 2013, the same day of his discharge, Dorner allegedly sent journalist Anderson Cooper a package containing a DVD stating his case against the LAPD, a bullet-ridden challenge coin, and a note reading 1 MOA, meaning 1 minute of angle, which implies that the coin was shot from a distance of 100 meters. 2 days later, Dorner began his killing spree, going to Irvine and opening fire on a couple sitting in their vehicle during the evening hours. The victims were identified as 28-year-old Monica Kwan, the daughter of Randall Kwan, who was Dorner's attorney, and 27-year-old Keith Lawrence, a campus police officer for the University of Southern California. The following day, Dorner published a 13-page manifesto online, which outlined his experiences and stated his motive for the killing spree. He believed that the killing spree would be a way to clear his name. He's quoted as saying, "Unfortunately, this is a necessary evil that I do not enjoy, but must partake and complete for a substantial change to occur within the LAPD and to reclaim my name." The department has not changed since the Rampart and Rodney King days. It has gotten worse. He also stated that he was framed by the LAPD in retaliation for reporting excessive force on Teresa Evans and demanded the department to make a public admission to the legitimacy of his claims. It also urged journalists to use specific lines of the initial case review that he sent them as means to pressure the LAPD. Additionally, it specifically named Randall Kwan and his family as targets, which prompted police to name him the primary suspect for the Kwan-Lawrence double homicide 2 days afterwards, since Kwan had failed to represent Dorner efficiently, and it also named other officers and specific acts that they committed. In the wake of the publication of the manifesto, protection details were established for over 40 potential targets of Dorner's, while thousands of police officers were ordered to patrol the highways in Southern California in an effort to find him. On February 7th at about 1 a.m., Dorner ambushed 2 police officers at a Corona gas station, both of whom were flagged down by a man who recognized Dorner from the news. Firing a rifle at them, he grazed the head of one officer but missed the other. He then escaped to Riverside, where he opened fire in a drive-by shooting on 2 police officers who were seated in their cruiser approximately 20 minutes after the Corona shooting. Officer Michael Crane, aged 34, died from his gunshot wounds shortly after the shooting, while his partner, Officer Andrew Tchias, aged 27, was left in critical condition but survived. Approximately an hour and 25 minutes later, Dorner attempted to steal a boat in San Diego, allegedly with the intention of going to Mexico, but failed. Later that day, police began shooting at vehicles that matched the description of the dark gray 2005 Nissan Titan pickup truck that Dorner was said to be driving at the time of the shootings, in 2 separate incidents, one in Los Angeles and the other in Torrance. 3 innocent civilians were injured. That same day, the truck was found, having been set ablaze on a remote fire trail located near Big Bear Lake, prompting hundreds of officers to search the entire area and schools in the area to be placed on lockdown. 2 days later, in an effort to assuage the public, which is being held on edge from Dorner's shootings of police officers, the LAPD reopened the investigation into the termination of his employment. The next day, a $1 million reward was issued for information that will lead to his capture. On February 12th, in Big Bear, a couple, Jim and Karen Reynolds, found Dorner hiding in their house, having hidden himself there from police officers during the entire manhunt in the area. He subdued them and tied them up, promising not to kill them, before fleeing in their car. He later abandoned the car and carjacked a man named Rick Haltobrake, driving his vehicle down the street. California Fish and Wildlife game wardens were first to spot Dorner and briefly got into a shootout with him. Dorner then shot at several San Bernardino sheriff's deputies, wounding 2. One of them, Detective Jeremiah McKay, aged 35, later died at a hospital. He then went inside a cabin in Angeles Oaks, which was ironically located near a temporary command center that was heading the manhunt for him. There, he engaged several sheriff deputies in a massive gunfight, during which he was wounded, and a 3-mile perimeter was subsequently set up around the cabin, with residents being told to stay inside their homes with the doors locked. A standoff ensued and police tried to coerce Dorner out of the cabin by using ordinary cold tear gas. But when he failed to respond, a demolition vehicle was used to knock down most of the cabin's walls in an attempt to force him out. When that failed as well, deputies fired incendiary tear gas into the remains of the cabin, setting it on fire. As the cabin burned, a single gunshot was heard. Later that day, a body was recovered from the cabin and confirmed to belong to Dorner. The cause of death was revealed to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. After many days of debating, the $1 million reward issued for Dorner's capture was divided in 4 ways, with $800,000 going to James and Karen Reynolds, who were tied up by Dorner after finding him in their house. It's crazy to see a man who devoted his whole life to doing good, snap, and commit some of the most violent acts possible. Let me know what you guys think of this situation in the comment section, and please be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.